Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
On the belt, the pitch. Ground ball to the third baseman. The second out on the first base. Out, and this ballgame has come to an end. Herrera hits into a 5-4-3 double play. And the Padres win game one of the three-game series, 4-1.
That is a big oof tonight. Cardinals lose to the Padres by a 4-1 score. That's a frustrating night, a frustrating game. One single play seemingly does the team in, and they lose. First game since the All-Star, not the All-Star break. First game since the trade deadline took place, and you don't really know what it's going to look like here moving forward because the team was sellers, and now from a kind of an emotional standpoint, I think you have to get past that and get back going once again if you can do that. But the Cardinals are really struggling right now. That goes without saying. They've been shut out in a couple games leading into this. They scored just one run on 4 hits tonight. They only have one extra base hit. It comes on the Wilson Contreras home run, and unfortunately, Wilson Contreras was right in the middle of a really tough defensive play where the Cardinals made a lot of mistakes on a single play, and that leads to San Diego scoring their runs. If you want to join us, you can do so. Multiple ways to get connected. You can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Again, call or text. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or for those of you who are watching the video stream on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, you can leave a comment in the chat, and those come to us as well. And that's the multiple ways to get connected. Certainly appreciate you staying up late with us as we are coming up on midnight. I always like doing this because we're on FM now, 104.1 FM. We're doing the streaming. I know we can reach everybody in the world basically on the streaming, but I always when we get late into the night, this is where my just growing up and then getting into a point in my life where I was living in a bunch of different places and always having the sense of being able to tune into 1120 on my car in the middle of the night and listen to my hometown KMOX. I always try to do this. So if there are people listening tonight on 1120 a.m. all over the country, feel free to text in at 314-436-7900 and tell me where you're listening from tonight as we do approach the what will be the wee hours of the morning, at least the morning after we hit midnight. All right, enough of the fun stuff. Let's get into the play. The play that really does the Cardinals in. Grounder to third. Gorman gets it. Not a great throw over to Contreras. Contreras doesn't do a good job of receiving it. He then makes a wild decision to throw it over to third. It bounces on the ground. It gets down the line, runs score. It was not good. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated by that play. And what might actually surprise you on this is it was a terrible play by Wilson Contreras. Terrible on multiple things. Him not coming off the bag to try to receive that ball from Gorman was the first mistake. And then throwing the ball over to third, also a terrible mistake. Just not good by Wilson Contreras. That's actually not the part that frustrates me the most about the overall play, though, because I try not to talk out of both sides of my mouth too often. We all knew that this was going to be the first year for Wilson Contreras over at first base, and we knew there were going to be plays that look like that. He's done a really nice job at first. I'm not absolving him from that. I'm just saying there was some expectation of something that looked like that happening on occasion. Terrible play by him. Not good. And he can't do that. But that's not the part that frustrates me the most. The part that frustrates me the most is everything else that was going on during that play. I don't know why 3 guys were bunched up together at third base where you really couldn't see that ball coming through. I don't know why Alec Burleson isn't coming in to cover from the backside. So, I mean, there's so many mistakes that are made on that single play. Bad throw by Gorman, but probably a throw that should have been at the very least received by Contreras, even if the out isn't recorded. Terrible decision to throw the ball by Contreras, and then the throw was also bad. All the guys bunched up around third base, and Burleson not coming in. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff that went wrong on a single play. And that is the single most important play of this game. So, I don't know. I don't have much more to say about it than I can be accepting and understanding of Contreras still easing into first base, not having the sense to come off the bag at first to try to maybe catch that ball and maybe swipe the tag or do something like that, or just punt on getting the out, but making sure there's no error committed. Like I can be accepting of a first-year first baseman and a guy who kind of makes mistakes like that sometimes. But it's everything. It's everything. It's just everything, and that's what frustrates me about that play for sure. Again, if you want to chime in, you can do so. You can call or text 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. You can leave a message on the stream. Enough is enough says, I don't know if that's about the Cardinals or not, the screen name, but does say Contreras has played a lot better at first than I thought he would. But yeah, that was a horrible play. Dan, you know what? Dan brings up another really good point in this. There was a chance for the Cardinals to get back in this game, and this has been the theme lately. Unfortunately, the theme for this offense has been when they do get base runners, when they do get the opportunity to score some runs, they are not doing it. So it was in the 8th inning, Mason Miller, who had just been acquired by the team, comes in. And look, Miller's really good. That adds so much depth now to the Padres bullpen. It's remarkable what they can throw out there. But you get the Mason Wynn base hit followed by the Nolan Gorman single. That puts up first and third, nobody out. And you get the strikeout from Jordan Walker and then the double play off the bat of Joel Pozo. So that is an example of the Cardinals just not coming through when they need to come through and offensively. And we have seen that happen way, way, way too often. Jeremy sends in a message, says, I bet Ali is pulling his hair out, saying, what does he have to do to get the offense going? Yeah, I wish I had an answer. Like, that's why you didn't lose your radio signal. That's just me not having an answer to this. It's really bad right now offensively. They're just not scoring runs. And, you know, Ali talked about it in his post-game show after the last series before the day before the on Wednesday, I guess it was, or yeah, on Wednesday's game against the Marlins, about when you have a young team, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be periods of time where it's good, and there's going to be periods of time where it's not good. And the idea is to extend out the period of time that's good for guys and try to shorten the periods that's not good. And unfortunately for this team, just the not scoring, it's going on for a while. And that's what led to this team a month ago, this team looked like a team that was very much going to challenge for a playoff spot, and now they're below 500. A month ago, they were 9 games over 500, and now they're 1 game under. They've lost 10 games against 500 in about a month. And, that's why they were sellers at the deadline and nothing and not able to add. So, I don't have a whole lot to add beyond this. I'm sorry. Like, this is one of those games I don't have a whole lot to say. There was 1 inning where runs scored. Cardinals don't do much from an offensive standpoint. There was 1 defensive play that just really hurt this team. And it was the first day after they had sold off a number of players. We could talk about the bullpen. I think the bullpen did a mostly good job. I know Matt Swanson gave up the 2 inherited runners to score. But I thought that strikeout that he got in Machado was a really cool moment for him. I was bummed for him that he gave up the hit a moment later, because when you have a moment like that strikeout of Machado kind of gets lost when you don't follow it up. But Swanson, he gives up the inherited runners. Those were charged to Liberatore. So Swanson records 5 outs, no runs on his line. Graceffo and Fernandez did their job. Good to see Fernandez back out there. He could be a key for this team here moving forward. You'd love to see him back to kind of where he was at last year. But look, way too often recently have the bright spots of a game been the bullpen, like the middle relief guys coming in and doing a nice job. That's when that is the best part of a game, it's probably not good. And I'm probably not being fair to Wilson Contreras from an offensive standpoint, because he did hit a home run and he did give the Cardinals a lead, and that was good, but it was very short-lived, and then he was right there in the middle of what went down with that one play. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air. We'll take a break. We got more coming up in just a moment. You are locked into the Extra Innings Show on KMOX.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
There's a big red barn where you save green. Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
Hey, facility managers. At Graybar, we're not just one of the largest distributors of electrical and datacom parts in North America. We're your connection to help make your buildings smarter. We work with best-in-class manufacturers to supply products for wireless, security, renewable energy, lighting, and critical power solutions. And we have a network of integrators nationwide that can help make it work all together. So, the next time you're thinking about making your building smarter, think Graybar, and we'll help you get connected. Visit graybar.com/connected buildings to learn more.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
4-1, the Cardinals lose to the Padres, opening up a 3-game series in San Diego. Welcome back into the program. You can call or text 314-436-7900. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air. You can leave a message in the chat for those of you who are watching. I always, on these really late night shows, I always know that on 11:20 a.m., pretty much across the entire country, people can be listening in. I always love hearing where we've got people listening. Fort Ransom, North Dakota, checking in. So we appreciate that for sure. Let's go to the phones. John is giving us a call. Hey, John, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Hey, man. Hey, my cousin in Jackson, Mississippi is listening.
All right.
There you go. Hey, so I mean, you know, that those 2 errors didn't lose the game for us. The 1 run lost the game for us. I mean, we're one of the best defensive teams in the league. But dadgum, Matt, what do you think about just totally shaking up this lineup? Just, I mean, for example, I know Victor Scott's not hitting, but you know what? If you put that kid in the leadoff, he's going to have a whole different mindset. And just put him leading off, Mason Wynn second, Brendan Donovan third. I don't know, man. It's just he puts the same lineup every night. I mean, what do you think? I mean, why not at this point?
Yeah, like I don't get caught up too much in. I don't think it's a lineup issue that is causing it. I'm not against it. Mason Wynn batted 5th. This is just the second game that he was batting in the 5 spot. I do think there is a clear line of sort of your plus players and your players that you don't totally know what you're going to get out of. With Donovan, Herrera, Burleson, and Contreras, I think those 4 guys are the guys that you trust. Win in the 5 spot probably is connected to the fact that he's been swinging it okay here recently. He had a 292 month of July, so there have been some tweaks. I'm not. If Oliver Marmol tomorrow completely shakes up the lineup and it looks totally different, and Scott's in the leadoff spot, and there's I'm not gonna be critical of him for it. That's for sure. It's just not something that I'm jumping to see him do either. I don't know how impactful it can be.
At this point, Matt, I mean, why not? I mean, we scored 1 run in 27 innings. One run. I mean, what? I mean, why not? I mean, just I don't know, man. I'm a passionate fan, and why not just shake? I mean, it's
You bet, John. I appreciate the call, and I hear your frustration. And I think you speak for a lot of Cardinals fans. To answer the why not part of it, I think the why not part is because you believe in what you're doing, even if it's not getting results. You believe that this group of players, this lineup, is the lineup that has the best potential to score you runs. So that's the why not. The why not is, even though it's not getting results, it's the group that you feel, and it's the lineup that you feel is going to score the most runs. It's just not working right now, for sure. I don't really like Victor Scott in the leadoff spot right now, if I'm being honest with you, like that part of it. But I mean, I know that was just an example of something you can do. Look, this guy just hit 162 in the month of July, had a 528 OPS, had 271 on base. I know he's fast, and I know he's potentially a leadoff hitter of the future, but I don't think putting Victor Scott II in the leadoff spot makes you better. So I'd push back. But is there somebody else that you can put there? I'm not a fan of Mason Wynn being in the leadoff spot. I feel like we're transporting back to the summertime, because we did the Gas House Gang, where it was me and Kevin and Tom and Bernie, and Tom was the pro Mason Wynn in the leadoff spot, and all of us were anti that, and it kind of became a thing. But do you think about putting him back up there just to do something? I don't know. I don't know. That's my answer. I appreciate people trying to come up with answers. I don't have an answer here at the moment. Got a tweet from JD, says the Cardinals are going to have to make further moves. This just is not going to work as is. They're going to make moves in the offseason. They are absolutely – the roster doesn't work. And I don't mean the roster doesn't – the roster is not working right now from a functional standpoint, like in terms of scoring runs. But more importantly, long-term, the roster doesn't work with the pieces you have and them all adding up to each other. Way too many redundancies. There's not an open door for J.J. Weatherholt. You're still not really sure what position Weatherholt's going to play and how that's going to impact everybody. So there's going to be moves. And I think by the Cardinals actually not making further moves at the All-Star, or at the I keep saying All-Star break, at the trade deadline, by them not making the further moves at the trade deadline, actually makes me more confident that more moves are going to be made during the offseason, because it's my contention that they were holding off on any player that there's control on, where that's going to be Chaim Bloom's responsibility. That they weren't going to do something to the roster that had implications for next season. They were going to let that fall under Chaim Bloom. So, yeah, there's going to be changes. There's going to be changes for sure with this roster here moving forward. The question is, how much of what they do is going to be with an eye on being competitive in 2026, and how much of what they do is going to be on eye on 2027 and beyond. Obviously, the trade deadline was 2027 and beyond. From the 6.36, the capability is there. It's the streakiness that's killing them. Yeah, there are guys that should be hitting a lot better than they are right now, 100%. But there's still a talent deficit compared to some other teams. For the 314, the meaning of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I assume that's about the lineup. Well, you know what? Like, the Cardinals, from a full season standpoint, are a better offensive club than the San Diego Padres. Score more runs per game, home run, everything. Better offensive club. Right now, they're not playing like a better offensive club, but from a full season standpoint. So I don't really buy into the whole, meaning of the old cliched quote about insanity, because earlier this year, this group was scoring runs, and they're not right now. And that's part of baseball. And right now it's up to the Cardinals to find a way to fix things sooner than later. We are being presented by Gray Bar. Gray Bar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. What's on Deck is presented by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, ChesterfieldFence.com. Game 2 of this 3-game series going to be coming up tomorrow night. The Cardinals have Michael McGreevy on the mound, 2-2, 4.91 ERA. Randy Vasquez going for the Padres, 3-4, 3.65 ERA, 9.10 first pitch, 8:15 for our pregame coverage. Thanks so much for being tuned in to the program tonight, staying up late with us. Unfortunately, the Cardinals come up short. They lose by a 4-1 score. We'll talk to you again tomorrow with more Cardinals baseball here at home for the Cardinals, KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman.